It's okay. It's okay. You don't have a pair. Just
Can I'm not sure. Emily, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
Ah, excellent. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Great. I'm great. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I am home in Norway.
Excellent. What have you
Yes.
been doing this weekend?
Oh, I have been running and working outside and enjoying time being home.
Excellent. Nice work. So, Emily, thanks a lot for joining us here at the third race of the Golden Trail Series in Sierre-Zinal.
Hmm?
We've got a little bit of live footage here from the start line. Do you think there'll be a few nervous runners out there today?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's always nervous to enter the start line and the feelings of everyone, the atmosphere. It makes you like super excited to run.
And you have, the great man Killian is out there today running. Has Killian mentioned anything to you about this race? Has he been looking forward to it?
Yeah, like this is one of the races that Kilian he really likes it. He likes the competition, and it's a really deep field, and the atmosphere. It's a legendary race, so he's excited.
Excellent, excellent. So, Emily, we've got a couple of things going on today. We've got a big competition running with Sunto, where once the gun goes off, we'll open up the competition, and basically it's a competition to allow people to win a brand new Sunto watch if they guess the right time and the winner of the race. So if you guess the winner and the time of the race and you put it in the Facebook comment feed, then we'll
Yeah,
review that afterwards. So
that's awesome.
yeah, so we'll make sure we keep people aware of that. And yeah, Emily, if I'm correct, you haven't actually run this race before, have you?
No, I have never done it. I think Sierre-Zinal is a race I want to do when I'm really prepared for it because it's such a legendary race. So I want to prepare it as good as I can, and I never really had a year to prepare for it.
Okay, and is that because Sierre-Zinal is one of those races where you will need to have a bit of a range in ability. You need to kind of fit in on a different number of levels.
Yeah, like Sierre-Zinal, it's if you're a good flat and uphill runner, I think it's perfect. You need to work on the both, and I never really had the time to work on both because I do a lot of different races. But yeah, I'm really looking forward for the year when I can do it.
Excellent, excellent. Is there, and can you also, Emily, give us a little bit of an idea about how well you've recovered from your amazing FKT that you did on the Kungsleden Trail?
Yeah, sure. So 450 kilometers in 5 days, it was something that I'd never done before, and I didn't know how I would react, but I was recovering well. I didn't get any injuries. I felt okay. So I'm really happy about that the body actually can run for so long, for so many days, or at least for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first time you've actually done something like that of that size and capacity.
Yeah.
And it was how was the experience? Was it good to be out there on like your home trails, and was there anything there that you didn't expect to happen that did out there?
Yeah, one day I expected to run 80 kilometers, but it became almost 100 because they changed the trail. So that was a bit unexpected. But otherwise, I was prepared for, or not prepared. I just had an open mind that it would be hard, but I was ready to do it.
Yeah, and so you've got the FKT, which is what we call the fastest known time. Do you think that you could maybe one day go out there again and do it a little bit faster, or are you pretty happy with the time that you ran out there?
I'm pretty happy with it, and I will not go out there again. There's so many other things that I will do before I do that, but who knows?
Okay, cool. All right, now what we've got here is Maximilian. Are you able to give us a little bit of an insight into the history of Sierre-Zinal and what you think about this race from being a local runner?
So Sierre-Zinal is the 45th edition It was one of the first mountain running race. Um, when Sierre-Zinal was created, there was no model to be based on, so they tried to create something from nothing, and they made it very well. And it's always a pleasure to assist to the race and to support my friends who are running, and to maybe next year run for me.
Excellent. And Maximilian, I'm not sure, but would you be able to say hello to the French audience and introduce them to the live coverage today?
Yes, so I tell you French.
Yeah, please.
So, bonjour à tous, on est en live ici depuis Zinal pour commenter la course. On va avoir beaucoup de plaisir à vous commenter la course et les favoris. Et puis j'essaierai de vous faire découvrir un peu la région et puis le parcours, les points intéressants, et essayer de vous offrir le plus de commentaires intéressants possible. Je me réjouis de passer cette journée avec vous. Donc le départ sera donné dans un peu plus de 10 minutes depuis Sierre à l'entrée du bois de Fange. Les coureurs auront d'abord une longue montée jusqu'à Ponchette, puis après une partie assez roulante jusqu'à l'hôtel du Weisshorn, et puis l'hôtel du Weisshorn, une longue descente jusqu'à Zinal.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, just while I've got the opportunity here, Emily, I've got the course record holder here, Jonathan Wyatt. Jonathan, can you come in here, mate?
I've just been told to step back, actually, but here I am.
That's all right. So this is the course record holder, Jonathan Wyatt here. Jonathan, could you just give us a little bit of a short intro about the race? What does it mean to you? This is Sierre-Zinal. Everyone's here at the start line warming up. What's it like out there at the moment?
Well, of course, there's a lot of nervous energy, but I think most of the runners that are here, certainly the top runners, are very experienced, and so they know how to keep themselves just a little bit calm. It's going to be a long day out there. It's going to heat up a little bit, especially on that first climb. But look, I've got a long history with this race. I ran back in the early 2000s, so I've seen how the race has evolved over all these years, and it's just great to see how every year it's just getting bigger and better, and we just love being a part of it.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. And there's always a lot of talk, because you've had it now for so long, for 15 years. Is there any chance of that beautiful course record of yours getting a shake up today?
Your times.
Okay. So my split times are here.
Check if they get close to it.
Fantastic. Look, the runners here, of course, they're good enough to do it. There's no question about that. There's other factors that, of course, come into play. How the race unfolds, the tactics, of course. And if people start looking at each other, then the record goes away pretty fast. And look, when I did the record, I know I'm strong on the climbing, so I think the time in Chandelan is a kind of a reference time about whether the record's going to go, because I'm pretty sure they would need to be within 3 or 4 minutes of that climbing time I did. And the really funny thing, actually, I probably shouldn't say this, but back in 2003 when I did the record, I got a time check just after Weisshorn, and they said, Jono, you've got more than 10 minutes on the next guy. And I had the Jungfrau Marathon coming up, and I actually backed off on the last third of the race. So there's definitely it's definitely doable, and I think today with the conditions and the field that's there, I really hope they go for it. Don't worry about racing so much, and they just go for the record. That would be fun.
Excellent. All right, Jenny. Well, that's 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 12 seconds. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on that. Emily, do you have any words to say to Jono? Would you?
Yeah, it's impressive.
Oh, sorry, who?
So impressive.
We've got Emily. Yeah, Emily just says that it's very impressive. So.
Look, I know Emily's got some history here on the track as well. She knows what it's like. As the two of us are sitting here watching it, we can say there's no excuses today for slow times. Everything is perfect.
All right, brilliant.
I will translate in French. So, avec nous ici, il y a Jonathan Wyatt, c'est le recordman de la course. dit à l'instant que les coureurs aujourd'hui vont aller très vite et que tout est mis en place pour que le record soit battu. Et puis qui se réjouit de suivre la course depuis Zinal et voir ce que vont faire les meilleurs. Voilà.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna let Jono get out on the trail. I think he's going to do some filming today.
I'm here working today, kind of working, yeah.
Excellent,
but I'll enjoy cheering them on the last 5 or 6K and give them a bit of a push, I hope.
Nice. Thanks so much for joining us. It's a real honor to have you here.
Okay, well, thanks for putting on such a great job. It's great to have this service and really promoting trail running to the world. So good job, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Jono. Catch you later, mate. All right, guys. We've got a small little video here. Killian's put together some tips for the event, and we're gonna have a quick look at those tips. It's going to go for about a minute and a half, and then we'll get back to the live coverage.
Huh? Yeah.
He has been racing there for 7 times, and it's so wonderful, the competition there. It's one of the oldest races in mountain running history, and it has always been the meeting point for all the elite of very different runners. The fun thing is that you have like a vertical kilometer at the start, like 2,000 meters of elevation, super steep at the beginning, and normally it's very fast and like your calves are completely destroyed. And after that you have like 20 kilometers of really flat terrain where the athletes coming from mountain running or for asphalt, like they run like easy at 3 minutes per kilometer, so that is super hard, and I has always been struggling there. Like normally in the uphill I can't keep with the first ones, and then the flat is just super challenging for me, all these 20 kilometers. And then all the years I have been winning the race, it has been in the last 3 kilometers is the downhill. It's not a technical downhill, but it has like 2 or 3 rocks there, so there is like where I can really like push hard and just try to fight for the victory.
Commentators is one of the media is down at the moment, and they're looking through the start field here, and yeah, I guess you can see Ida Nilsson there, Thibaut Baronia. These guys are all ready to crack on again. They've done the 3 races now, the Golden Trail Series. And how do you think Ida will go out there today, Emily?
I think this is a really good race for Ida. She's a really good flat runner, and she has really improved the uphill running the past 2 years. Like year by year, I see her become stronger in the uphills, which is going to be super exciting.
Yes, it's one of those races that certainly does take a lot of different kind of skills out there. I mean, you can also see Ruth Croft there, and there was the great Pablo Vigil. We put a little bit of a video up last night about him and Killian, and they were doing a bit of an interview together, which was really great to see. Pablo Vigil has won the race 4 times, and Killian surpassed Pablo's record just last year by winning 5 times. Is it something that Killian would try and aim for today, Emily, to try and break the overall amount of wins that you've had at Sierre-Zinal by having 6 wins today? Do you think that's something in the back of his mind he would like to achieve?
I don't think so. Killian is not thinking about the race and how he wants to perform. And if Killian if he going for a race, he can do really well. But it's not the record that it's after.
Okay, excellent. Maximilian, you have a couple of things to say about the race?
So Sierre is known to be the sunshine city. There is almost 300 years of sun in Sierre, and as you can see today, it's not a banal slogan. It's the truth. So we have luck, but it's normal to have sun in Sierre.
We've got a couple of the runners here. We just saw Killian. We've got Joe Gray here, who's from America. He's come second to Killian before at this race. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go again, matching up against each other. It's really close now. We've got about 3 minutes to the start, and we've got our live team down there at the moment filming the start. We can see a couple of the guys lined up. Can you recognise anyone on the start line there, Emily?
Yeah, I see Max King, Joe Gray, Bobby Simpson. Can you correct me if I'm not? I see Killian. Who more do you see?
Yeah, I can see Stefan Wank there. He's one of the Scott runners. Obviously, we've got
Douglas.
Robbie Simpson there.
Yeah.
Robert Krupika, Tefera Mekonnen.
Yes.
Certainly a few.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is we're just gonna play a really quick video of we're not gonna play that just because we're so close to the start. I think it's
Yeah.
this is just an overview of the race course of Sierre-Zinal. And you can see that this is the first main climb of the race. Takes up to Ponchet, which is about 6.8 kilometers. Runners come along to Chandelin. That's just a little bit of a look at the race course of Sierre-Zinal, but because we're so close to the start now, we're going to go back to the start line. So here we go. This is the start of the 2018 Sierre-Zinal, the third race of the Golden Trail Series, and yeah, we're about to kick off.
20 secondes, moins de 20 secondes avant le départ.
What did he say then?
Donc il y aura un concours. Celui qui devine le temps du vainqueur, le vainqueur gagnera une montre Sunto aujourd'hui. Mais il faut l'annoncer avant Chandelin.
Now we're off, guys. You can see there's a few of the runners. That was actually the man in the green is actually Ida Nilsson's brother. He's a 2:15 marathoner from Sweden. He's certainly got some legs and some ability out on this course. And Emily, how would you be taking, if you were to run this race, how would you take it out? Sorry, Emily, we just lost you there for a little bit. But I was just asking, how would you, if you were running this race, how would you approach the very first climb out of the town of Sierre?
Yeah, I think you need to look at your strength. And this race, I can't say that I would be really strong at, but in this race, and I think that their weakness, it's gonna be so their choice, how they.
I think we've got a little bit of a sound issue there with Emily, but what I can reiterate is that, and I've heard this before from a number of the other elites that have been around here this week, it's very much a race that you need to really know your strengths and be able to pick the right time to use your strengths and to understand your ability to hold back a little bit, because there's a really incredible climb that leads you out of Sierre, which is incredibly steep, and it's at the very start of the race. I think a lot of people can maybe overexert themselves going at that first climb, and that may lead them to not have the energy they need or the legs they need, so to speak, to take them through the flatter section and the downhill section, which follows after that. Maximilian, you've done the junior race here, which is run from Chandelin to Zinal. Can you tell us a little bit about that section? How is that like to run on?
Yeah, for the juniors, it's about the winners. The winner in junior, it's 1 hour 25 minutes. So the first junior run all the race, but they don't have the first big uphill, so it's less tiring. But no, for juniors it's quite a long race. It's 19 kilometers. But what's difficult for the juniors is because all the tourists are in front of them and have to pass them to get to Zinal.
It's sorry to say, we're just having a little bit of difficulty with Emily's internet connection there. So she's just dropped off a little bit at the moment. We'll try and make sure we get her back on screen pretty soon. Just want to make sure that if there's any comments you want to make on the Facebook stream, then please go ahead and do that. We've got Emily back again now.
Yes.
Hey, Emily, thanks a lot. I was just mentioning that we have the ability for the audience to put some comments down on the Facebook feed, and any questions for you, I'm sure you'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, sure. But let's talk mostly about the race. But I see Lauline, he was supposed to run, but he cannot run now. He's asking a question: if we think Kilian is going to take another win, what do we think?
Wow. I mean, I always enjoy seeing Kilian to win, because he's a really great, he's a great person, a great ambassador for the sport, and I really hope that he just has a great run out there, first and foremost. We've got a little bit of the live stream here, and we can already see some of the runners coming through. So this is the first section that they run on the road, is about just over 1 kilometers, and now they're coming up the first main hill, and this hill is quite this hill, I ran it the other day, and it's quite intense. I don't know if you've ever run this hill coming up out of Sierre. Have you, Emily?
No, I haven't. But I heard so much about it, and I watched and I studied the profile and everything, and we see, it's Joe Gray and the young runner Francesco Pupi, who is in the lead there.
That's Francesco Pupi.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I think
young guy.
Yeah, he's a super young guy, but super talented as well. I think he came first at Giermont just last year. After one of the other runners was disqualified for a bit of a doping scandal. But I think we can see in the red shorts is Kilian just tucked in behind Francesco there. And we can also see, I think that's Max King as well. He's got the red shorts on and the black T-shirt, which he's running just directly behind Kilian.
Yes.
And,
there is also Davide Manini on the right of Joe Gray.
Yes, him. And I can also see maybe Oriol Cardona. He's a Catalan runner.
And the Kenyan in front was 4th last week in Thion-Dixence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was what position?
Was
4th.
Was 4th, yes.
4th. So did you? Because you ran Thion-Dixence last week.
Yes, I was 3rd. Yes.
So you took him down, did you?
Yeah.
Nice work.
Great.
Nice work.
But, donc là, on est dans la première montée depuis Sierre. Ils ont déjà fait un peu plus d'1 kilomètre sur la route. Et puis là, ils attaquent le chemin en direction de Nuuk. Ils vont de nouveau avoir un petit bout de route avant d'avoir une montée très raide en direction de Bourgard.
And you can also see there in the bright green, that's Ida's brother, I think, isn't it, Emily? That's David there.
Yes, it is. It's David Nilsson. He's a talented, road runner, I would say. He's been doing quite okay on Swedish mountain races, but not as well as on road. But this race, it's non-technical, so it will be, if he can hold the climb, he can do really well.
Yeah. I think he's just another exceptional runner. We've also got there in the red cap, we've got Thibaut Barogna. He's doing really well in the Golden Trail Series as well. He's had some great runs already. He's placed in the top 10 at the last 2 races at Sagama and Mont Blanc. And also to the right of him in the black cap here, we've got Stefan Wenck. So he's the Scott runner, and he's pretty well known around these parts. Obviously, he's from Switzerland, and he is, this is a very traditional Swiss race. So he's definitely been a part of this a few times.
He was 5th last year, I think, and he had good results on long races.
He's very much well known around these like trail running groups because he's a great runner. He's a super nice guy as well. We've also got we haven't mentioned it yet, but we also have Mark Lowenstein. He's part of our team here today, and he's answering a lot of the questions that are coming up on the Facebook comments. And Mark is the previous winner of this event. He won the event in 2013, which would have been a big accomplishment for him because he's from Switzerland as well, and this is such a classic Swiss race. So it's we'll make sure that we get Mark onto the screen in a little bit to say good day, because it'd be great to have a word to him and see what he has to say. But he's answering the questions that are popping up on the Facebook stream. So if you have any questions for Emily or for Mark, then please don't hesitate to put them down and they'll get back to them.
Avec nous aujourd'hui, on a aussi Mark Lowenstein. C'est le vainqueur de Sierre-Zinal 2013 qui répond à vos questions sur la page de Salomon. Là, on arrive juste avant Nuke. On est derrière environ le top 20 des coureurs. Là, on voit la vue sur la vallée du Rhône.
And we can see there was just a little bit of a view there of Sierre, which is the town. The race is called Sierre-Zinal, and to put it simply, they run from the town of Sierre, which sits at, I think, 560 meters elevation.
Yes.
And they run up the Anivia Valley all the way to Zinal, so in 31 kilometers, and they finish in Zinal at 1,680 meters elevation. So they climb up, they run along the valley walls, and then they drop down a little bit to Zinal. But what we see there to the right of the runners is the town of Sierre. Now, what we'll do is to help explain the race a little bit more, we've got a video from Cinto, and we'll just play that now, and it illustrates the course profile and how the runners will traverse from Sierre all the way to Zinal. So that's Sierre, and that's at 560 meters, and then they make this huge climb. It may not look too steep on the profile there, but that climb is super steep, and it really does suck a lot of the runners in. And they more or less kind of traverse along the valley wall of the Chateau. And then this section of the run is a lot flatter. You can feel it a little bit more on that one maximum.
Yeah, this is a really fast part from Tiusa to Hotel de Weisshorn. Yeah, maybe it's the best one will run at 20 kilometers per hour, so it goes really fast.
And you can see that just where the yellow dot finishes, there's a big descent down into Zinal, and that's where the runners will head all the way from Sierre. And you can see there that's not sure who that runner is, but I thought it was David Nielsen. Right there, that's Ben Riddle, the guy that ran past in the blue. He's a great little runner there from Great Britain. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. I know he's not going for the podium, but he's certainly trying to go under 2:55 today. I had a little bit of a word to him. Now, Emily, can you tell me how much the altitude of this race would affect the runners? Do you think that it would be important for people to experience running at altitude for this race, or do you think that it doesn't really have a factor in the race?
Every runner, every person feel the altitude very different, and it's you never really know if you react. To be really sure, if you prepare for this race, to be safe, to do a good race, and to race at the maximum capacity you have, you should stay in altitude and train altitude.
Do you think, is that something that you've practiced a lot of? Have you done a lot of altitude training?
I don't go to training except for the ski mountaineering races, which is always at high altitude. But for summer, I think that I often feel good in altitude so far.
we've just got a little bit of live footage there. The camera's stalled a little bit, but this is the actual winner from last year. This is Lucy Wambu, and she is coming through right now, and we've got the camera on her.
Yes.
Yes, donc c'est la
She's
première femme.
leading.
I was speaking to a couple of the guys and the girls from the race, and they've said that she's got an incredible ability to push hard up this hill, and what she does is she goes out really hard and just works incredibly hard on this hill, gets a bit of a lead, and then just kind of holds on throughout the rest of the race. And it looks like that may be her tactic again today, but it's hard to say, and I guess we won't know exactly until she gets to the top of the climb and to see who's around her today.
Yeah.
Maximilian, do you have any predictions for the podium? Like, who do you think may be able to win this race today?
To win, I don't know, but I think the podium there will be on it Kilian, sure, Joe Gray, and Robbie Simpson. I think there are the three leaders today.
And how about the ladies' field? Who do you think for that?
Ladies' field, I will say Lucy Murigi, Ida Nilsson, and maybe Ruth Croft. But we will see. We will see.
Emily, are you game enough to give us a little bit of an insight to who you think might be on the podium today?
Yeah, sure. For the women, I think Lucy for sure will be on the podium. And that's all I know. Then I think it's quite open. Like, I know Ruth and Ida are strong, but they have, I don't know about this race. So I just say Lucy to be safe. And for the men, obviously Kilian is in a great shape, and I know he's motivated for it. And if he's motivated for it, I think for sure he will be on the podium. And Robbie Simpson, he's such a talented runner. He's so impressive, and I think he will be there too. And then the third spot, it's open for me.
Nice.
À l'écran, on a David et Manini devant Francesco Pupi. On arrive un peu on voit juste leur tête pour l'instant. Mais David et Manini, il a 21 ans. C'est vraiment un très jeune coureur.
Yeah, we can see here that Davide Mangini, he's coming up and he's leading everyone out of the town of Sierre on the first climb here.
Yeah, we should talk
Sorry.
about the young guns. The young guns, I think they can do a really impressive race, because we see Davide Mangini and Francesco Poppi, and we have Oriol Cardona and so many other young guns, and Jakob from UK. It can be super interesting.
From Norway to Stian, the young Stian from Norway.
Yes,
Jan Margarit from Catalonia. There's many young runners that may be good today.
yeah.
And what we can see is these young guys who are coming up and leading the running out of the first, out of the town, up the first climb. They're super talented at the uphill running. These are the kind of guys that would typically win the VK competition. And I think it's probably why we get to see them leading the race so early on. And it's just going to be really interesting to see if they can lead the race and be first to the top of the climb and then hold on to that lead, because what happens after this kind of a climb is that it goes into a more runnable, flatter section, and some of the runners have the ability to really work hard on that section. I remember Max King last year, his strength really lies in the flatter section, and he was about 5 minutes behind some of the runners after the first climb, and he came through the field and he came finishing third place. He really backed himself on that flatter section. But this is a really tight group. I mean, we can identify a few of the other runners here as well. There's Kilian there in the red shorts. We've got Joe Gray. So there's a number of runners right here that are going to be able to really play to their strengths a little bit later on in the race to see how it all plans out. And could you explain a little bit what we're seeing here, Maximilian? This view?
That's the top of the uphill. It was Ponchette. So it was Ponchette is at 1,870 meters of altitude. So 1,200 meters from the start. So now we are in the first uphill after Nuke before Bourgard. It's a very steep part. It's Manu Vaudan who is filming. When he was younger, he did a bit more than 30 minutes on a VK. So it's really strong when it's uphill. But it's a bit older now, but it's still very strong.
You can see there that there's a Z spray painted on a tree. There's Robbie Simpson there as well. He's coming through. We don't, obviously, Emily, we don't condone people spray painting Z's on trees, but it's a way to mark the course for Sierre-Zinal, and you follow the Z all the way to Zinal.
Yeah.
Emily, Kilian has mentioned a number of times that he's typically won this race when he enters the downhill into Zinal. Is that because just Kilian's strength really lies in the downhill, or where do you think it is? It lies the most.
I don't think we can just say that it's in the downhill, because he's doing fantastic in the uphill and he's doing great in the flat. Like, he's not many seconds behind Robbie, for example. Last year he was maximum, I think, 15 seconds behind Robbie on the flat, and that's not a lot, I would say. But he also knows he's really good in downhill, so I think he feels that he don't need to be exactly 2 seconds after someone, because he can catch 15 seconds in the downhill.
Yeah, and I guess that just goes to show that Kilian has a bit of a tactic with this race, a bit of a strategy when he comes and does this race.
Yeah, like of course he always, if he's good in the uphill, he wants to be in the front, but he will just try to stay in the front to be able to push each other. I think that's always more or less his strategy.
And Emily, when you go into a race, do you take a lot of time to plan your strategy for a race? Do you often look at a course and identify where your strengths may be better played, and other areas of the course where you think you might adjust what you're doing in terms of your running to help maximize your chances of winning? Do you do a lot of race planning?
I think it's always good to look to a race course and to see where your strengths are, and to really try to plan it. But on the race day, you need to be open for everything. You need to be open to have hard feelings, to struggle, and just to never give up. But then if you have a great day and everything goes as planned, it's good that you can push where you know you can push, and where you can, like, save a bit of energy, where you're really good. And it's good to have a plan, but to be open and flexible.
And what advice can you give to other runners out there who may just be coming into the trail running world? Do you think that it's a really important thing to spend a little bit of time in maybe your taper period to focus on planning for a race as opposed to just running the whole time and training?
I think it really depends where your goal is. Like, do you want to improve as an athlete? Do you want to win a race? What do you want with the running? I think it's important not to maybe have too high expectations also, because you can maybe just focus on where you are and try to improve where you are, and not think too much about it. Take away the pressure you have. Just enjoy it and work from where you are.
Yeah, brilliant. I think, Maximilian, you have a little bit of a quote that you like to say: if you're not progressing, you're going backwards. Is that something that you live by?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
I remember looking on your WhatsApp name the other day, and you had a little quote there saying, "If you're not progressing, you're going backwards."
Yeah.
I thought for a young man, that's quite a strong motto to have. What do you think about running? Like, how do you try and make sure that you're always motivated to do what you do?
Yeah, for me, running or ski mountaineering are a passion. So if I don't have the passion, I don't want to push up and to progress and improve my skills all the time. And yeah, to fail is not a problem. It's to stand, to be back on your feet and go back in the races and in the mountains and have pleasure. That's my way to go in the mountains.
I think from a young lad, that's a pretty good way of living life. It's certainly a very mature attitude to enjoying what we have at our disposal. Absolutely. We've got a couple of the other runners here that we can point out. That's this is Henry Onzo, I believe, from Finland. He's a great runner. He's won the Finnish road marathon championships a number of times, and he's there with Oriol Cardona as well. And they're still incredibly talented runners, and it may look like they're not at the very front of the race right now, but that certainly doesn't mean too much in this race, because I think a lot of people may be pacing themselves going up this uphill, and it may be a case of holding back some reserves to really unleash on the flatter sections and that come up in this race. That's 100% for sure. So Emily, maybe we can start off a little bit with the prediction competition that we'll have. So what we're going to do is, from now until the checkpoint, which is Chandelin, which is 11.8 kilometers, we're going to allow people to put comments down on the Facebook feed, and if you can guess the winner and guess the winner's time or close to it, then you'll be able to win a new Sunto watch. So what I'm going to do, Emily, is I'm just going to put you on the spot and say, could you possibly give us a little bit of an idea of who you would guess right now as to be the winner and what their winning time would be for the race?
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be, I will say Kilian, and it's not because it's Kilian, but I think of him as an athlete. So I think Kilian can be very close to the record. So I will go for 2:28:50.
2:28:50. So
it will be the record.
Because the record is 2:29:12.
Yeah.
So he's going to go and beat the record by 22 minutes, 22 seconds. Sorry.
Second, yeah.
Nice.
So I will go for that. And for the women, I say Lucy, and I will say 2:59:15.
2:59:15. Okay, so that is Emily's predictions. She's going for Kilian in 2:28:50 in the new course record, and Lucy in 2:59:15, which is a little bit off. I think that's about 5 minutes off the course record. The course record here for the female is
2:54.
2:54. Yeah. And that was done 10 years ago by a lady from Czech Republic.
Anna Pistrova. She's a legend. She's amazing.
She's running too today. She's running. Yeah.
She certainly is. And so, Max, how about you? What would you predict as the winner for the male and the female and their time? I'm writing these down, by the way. So
yeah, good.
I won't say Kilian because Emily said Kilian, but I will say Robbie.
Robbie, yeah.
Robbie in 2:30 and 10 seconds.
2:30 and 10 seconds. Brilliant. Robbie Simpson, also an incredible runner. I was speaking to Kilian about it, and he overtook Robbie in the last 2 kilometers of this race last year to take away the win. Robbie's an incredible athlete. He's recently won a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games road marathon earlier on this year at the Gold Coast in Australia. So he's out here again today, hoping to go one better than he did last year. But